Congressman Green, Congresswoman Trahan, nice to see both of you. Thank you. Congresswoman, start with you. There seems to be this disconnect between what we hear the Ukrainians are getting and what they say, in that they need so much more. When you guys were over there, is it possible to put more weapons through and into Ukraine, or is it a matter of political will versus logistical ability?
No, I think one of the things that we heard was that there's very little time between weapons being received and getting across into the hands of Ukrainian warfighters, and that was incredibly helpful for us to hear. But of course, we've heard from so many that we have to keep the pressure on. We have to keep supplying lethal aid, humanitarian aid, and we need to just be prepared for what's next. And I think that is the message that we're taking home, is make sure that we keep pace, make sure that the Ukrainians are successful.
Congressman Green, you've been on consistently talking about giving, quote unquote, more lethal aid and more advanced weapon systems. At least the British seem ahead of us on that kind of at every step, whether it's air defense or now with drones. The Times of London, Boris Johnson wants to send deadlier weapons to Ukraine. Admiral Sir Tony Ratigan, Chief of Defense Staff, the war is now a more traditional warfare conflict. These are the kind of drones the British are talking about sending, which are pretty serious weapon systems. Are the British willing to do more than the United States? If so, why?
I don't think so, but clearly that's we got to look at what Boris Johnson offered today. But I agree with what Lori said. The flow from when the weapon systems get to the transition state, the military units that are executing that mission are doing a fantastic job. The other piece of that is getting them to that transition state. That's kind of our challenge. And that's a combination of some bureaucracy at the DOD, as well as just struggles with our own military industrial base. And you can't blame that on this administration. That's on our government writ large. We made cuts to our military industrial base, so the diameter of the pipeline, so to speak, is really, really small based on the need that we have right now. So we got to put more weapons in that pipeline. That means we got to make more weapons.
Yeah, there's a math problem. You can make 6,000 javelins a year, at least right now, and the Ukrainians want 500 a day. You make a good point that doesn't get fixed overnight. Yeah. We saw these pictures, Russian planes carrying nukes over Sweden. The Russian Air Force violated Swedish airspace. Allegedly, there's reporting that some of these planes were carrying nuclear weapons. When you guys were in Ukraine and some of the other NATO countries together, did you get a sense that there were any of the NATO countries that were scared enough of Vladimir Putin they were willing to start either caving or perhaps be a little bit more appeasement-like towards him?
Go ahead, Laura.
Oh, well, I'll start because I think one of the things that was so important about this delegation trip was that it was received so well by our allies. They were so happy that the United States was there on the ground, standing by their side, reaffirming our commitment to Chapter 5. To say that they're anxious would be an understatement. No one knows how far this war criminal, Vladimir Putin, is going to go or what he'll say next. And so I think that is why we are fortifying our joint bases that we got to visit in Romania and Poland to see, the exercises on the ground, in the air, with our allied partners, because we are in this together. And our eastern flank is built up to send that message to him.
Congressman, what is it about the war in Ukraine that has managed to break through this partisan divide in D.C.? It's not all the way gone, but the walls seem to have been broken down.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Vladimir Putin, we said this when we were forward with the delegation. He's united NATO, he's united the EU, and he's united the United States Congress. And you can see even with the blocking of the Russian oil purchases, the Democrats actually pushed back on the administration. That bill was run by Democrats. Although there was a race to get the bill in to see who could get it in first, but the Dems got it in, and they pushed back, and the president said, "Hey, will you pull the bill?" And Speaker Pelosi, to her credit, said, "No, we're pushing this through." So the Congress has never, in my brief period here, Lori and I came in together at the same time, has never been this united on an issue.
Yeah, no, naming post offices perhaps, but not as united on an issue as important as this one is.
You didn't see the post office vote last night, then.
You never want to see how the sausage is made. It's great to see both of you. We appreciate you being here. Welcome back home.
Thanks, Leland.